Hi. Here at Eden Hot Springs, and there's a lovely man, Dr. Dan, doing a talk on transcendence, and just inspired to share a little bit about what transcendence means to me. Transcendence is a word that I akin to enlightenment, this idea that we can transcend the part of ourselves that's suffering and to become full of light or enlightened in our awareness. And so throughout the course of my life and spiritual path and practice, I've heard a lot of idea about transcendence or enlightenment being something that's a goal, something that we attain or achieve or reach after sufficient work. And what I've discovered about that is that isn't necessarily true. My experience of transcendence or enlightenment is the place where everything else falls away other than what we already are, right? And so if this transcendent state of being where we're whole and complete within ourselves in absolute freedom, freedom from suffering, freedom from pain, and actually freedom from all experience, that we are then full of light. The light is awareness. When the lights turn on, you can see clearly. And so when you are aware of the truth of who you really are and how that truth actually is animating all experience through the assistance of this perception of separation, this idea of separation to give us form and contrast, something to experience and know ourselves through in this true aspect of our being that is unknowable, because in that place there is actually nothing to know in complete fullness. And so enlightenment is more of a destruction process, a dissolving, more than a goal. It could never, in my mind, it could never be a goal, never something reached, because that is being motivated from a place of lack, being so identified with a part of yourself that feels separate, that you must seek and quest and attain and work and try to have this goal or this thing out there that maybe when you do everything right, or when all of these things come into place in your life, then you will be transcended, or then you will be enlightened. And what I've experienced is it's quite the opposite, actually. It's the embracing of the parts of self that feel separate and taking responsibility of how that actually consciously serves the opportunity for us as a divine being to experience ourselves, and then value it as such and no more, value it just as that. And when we face that, there's a destruction, a dissolution, I call it annihilation, where the identities of who we think we are, identified with this flesh or this body or all of our experiences, and especially how we're identified with our pain, melts away. All untruths dissolve in the presence of the truth, and what we are left with is the vast expanse of consciousness, clarity that we are, and in that we become aware of just how everything fits together and works. And so my invitation to you is to reflect on this idea of enlightenment or transcendence, and if it is something that you desire, that you become aware of, that there's a state of being that you have a memory of or have heard about that has that call in your heart, and that if you think about it as a goal or something that you have to do to achieve, and yes, sometimes doing our inner work can feel difficult, and it looks like looking at ourselves, but really it's not an efforting, it's an allowing of yourself to just be with what seemingly is most here and most alive, and inquiring deeper and what's more alive, what's more true than that, what's more truth than that seeming reality, and what's more true than that, and discover it, right? Enlightenment is a revelation, it's an allowance, it's a realization that bubbles up, that is already there, that we're already connected to. And so then the task, or if even more, the practice, is to be so aware and present with yourself that there's a cultivation of the part of you that is beyond who you could think you are or what you think you could do, where there's no more goal and nothing else to achieve, nothing to find. Then you're actually the one that is seeing, the one that is being found. So yeah, let your idea of enlightenment begin to shift some. And I found that enlightenment actually is something that's not very glamorous. You know, we want to glamorize it and put people up on a pedestal or make it this unobtainable thing just so that we can glamorize and feed our ego that this is something difficult to do and that I'm going to attain it and I'm going to do it, and then, you know, I think I've reached it and I have to broadcast that to get confirmation from it. And, you know, every master I've ever met is so gentle and never even really saying I'm enlightened, follow me. It's just a simple, it's a feeling, it's a resonance that you can connect to that awakens the sense of mastery that's already alive in you, that doesn't need to prove itself. It actually has no needs at all. So this is an awareness that I enjoy and that I experiment with and play with and reflections, and it just makes things so much easier and lighter. And that's what, to me, being a divine human is all about. So for more great videos and about enlightenment, spiritual practice, spiritual development, and divine human training, check out mysoulscompass.com. I love you.